Leonard, LA representatives.
Listen.
To come home now. They wanted this. They said they wanted LA. They wanted to be home. I want to see these guys represent home because we from here.
I know.
So we get to call them out, I think. So we can call them out.
Paul George said, I owe this team a trophy now, considering that he signed that extension. Paul, I want to know about Montrezl Harrell, though, right? How do you think it feels for the rest of the Clippers watching their teammate and someone who is a real heart and soul guy leave his team for a team playing down the hallway?
Not switch, not only teams, but you switch locker rooms in the same building. That's like a slap in the face.
Oh.
Like, seriously.
It is.
You stayed in the same city. It's like, I want to live in this neighborhood, just not next to you. So you know there's something that was just probably terribly wrong with them in that locker room. So he was like, I'm going over here.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't even know how to explain that other than the way I explained it.
Well, here are some grudge matches coming. And he had a rough, especially end of the playoffs. But don't you got to think he'll do better with AD next to him?
Oh, my God. I'd do better with AD next to me. Are you kidding me?
I might make a comeback.
What? Paul can come right now. Let's get him
next to AD.
Listen, but I think that's going to be a heck of a combination.
And I want to build a real foundation. And ultimately, this is where my legacy, where I want to leave the biggest imprint on. It's not putting a gun to Kawhi and telling him he's got to do this or do that. Hopefully it's a mutual bond, and we both enjoy playing with one another. So, everybody's got their own decisions to make, and hopefully me showing my commitment, being here and wanting to play with him long term, sticks out. I owe him a trophy. That's what I owe this organization. This is a window that we're trying to capture, and my commitment and my job is to try to bring a title here.
All right, Paul Pierce. We've heard Paul George saying he owes the Clippers a trophy, along with a lot of other things he said, frankly, that have come out in the last week or so. This, though, has to be what the Clippers faithful want to hear. Is it something, nothing, or everything?
Well, yeah, it's everything. I mean, you need players like Paul George caliber to win championships, along with Kawhi. He has a chance to build on his legacy as a Los Angeles Clipper and to start a legacy for the franchise, a franchise that doesn't have a championship. And he says he owes them a trophy. I respect that. He's from LA. He wants to bring a title to a place he's from. Hey, all the pressure's on now, Paul George. You got the huge contract. You at home. And we all know it's tough to play at home in front of your family and friends. And so, being that you signed a big deal, you're at home, now it's time to bring a championship. I hope he does it.
Yeah, it's something. And Rachel, boy, when I saw this quote, I just kind of grimaced a little bit because it's one of those things that you just know people are going to bring back. I owe him a trophy. And I know he was euphoric, and he should be. He just signed $190 million extension. And that's the thing about this trade. One of the reasons why this trade was so fantastic for Paul George, not only because he got to go home, not only because he got to play with Kawhi Leonard, but because they traded so much for him, that they are so invested in his success that they had to back it up with an extension to make sure that he remained there. So really, he's got everything he could possibly want. Now he's got to deliver, but the delivery is the hardest part, right?
Well, the biggest thing I heard from Clippers fans over the last week or two is, hey, we want Paul to take accountability for himself. And in my mind, when I heard
the defensive approach, guys, and he liked the way his team adjusted and improved during the game. I want to talk about some of the new guys, obviously Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder. Let's start there with the big ones. Montrezl Harrell, one thing, James, when you're watching him, right, he gets a double-double, 13 and 12, 4 of those offensive. I keep thinking about, man, fans are going to love him, because I remember watching him compete against the Lakers for these past 4 years. Those nights where you're dragging on a Tuesday in who knows where, he's the guy, right? On a championship team, which you guys have been a part of, with the shortest offseason ever. Early in the year, here's your guy, right? There's the motor. Yeah. It's just what he brings, it seems, every night.
Yeah, he's a modern day Iron Man. And his asset and the thing that he loves to do is outwork people, and he likes to beat people up. I mean, this guy was a former football player, I believe, coming out of high school, and so he loves the physicality and he loves to compete. And what I like about him, he'll sniff you out. He's the kind of guy, he'll know if you're not ready to play. And he'll know if you're not ready to give a maximum effort. And if you're not, he will eat you alive. He'll get offensive rebounds. He'll post you up. And that's the thing about him. You got to be ready to play.
I was just going to say to you, Rob, he's a nightmare matchup for a guy that's not into that game or ready to go, right?
Yeah, if you're not greedy and grimy, want to get nasty in the paint, because you think about it. This guy is James and my era type of guy. These guys now, they don't like body contact. They don't like to play like this. They don't like to score points in the paint, but this is who this guy is. I'm looking at him as a guy down the stretch. You know what, guys? It's been a long season. Our legs are tired. The three-pointers aren't falling. You got to worry about that. Montrez is coming to me. He's going to get position because he's strong, he's athletic, and he's going to hook you to death and just outwork you.
I don't care, guys, what the level is, what the sport is. You always got to have a little nasty to win something. And last year, remember when Markieff came over, James, you kept saying they're going to need that toughness at some point. And then we saw it in the bubble. I'm noticing tonight when he knocks guys over, he's not helping guys up. He's just got that nastiness to him that I love and teams need.
And Geeter, I cannot believe that we landed him in the offseason. That's still,
it's awesome.
Hats off to Rob Pelinka and the front office for being able to deliver this guy because what he brings is an extra dimension that you can't teach. And LeBron and AD and guys like that, Pope, they're going to love him because he's going to give you extra possessions. He's going to defend guys who are difficult on the offensive end, and so he's an X factor kind of player. You can sick him on multiple players, and he'll take care of a 3 or 4 or a 5.
You know what? I'm so excited about this move, and I'm so excited for these guys on the team to get to understand who he is, and I think that's going to be the key because, as I said at halftime, there's some moments where they missed him. And I hope he understands there's going to be some moments he missed because he doesn't have that same relationship with these guys as he had with Lou Will because that took some time. So I hope he's patient, everybody's patient, and they get together and they figure it out because he's going to be wonderful in that paint.
Yeah, you guys bring up some great points. I want to get the better put a body on him.
Got to put a bottom every time. Box out.
Good breakdown, Rob. I want to talk Dennis Schroeder. James, this was a big one coming over from OKC in the trade. And obviously, the loss of Rondo is big, but the Lakers did get younger. And, man, he's able to push that pace. And when you have a change of pace guy like him, you can see him getting to the rack. He can score. He's going to add a lot to this basketball team.
Yeah, I think the only thing he's lacking that Rondo brought to the table is experience. We saw Schroeder in Atlanta. Not really matured yet, but over time, he really started to understand what his role could be in the NBA, Peter. He does it all. He can score. There's a three-pointer. We just saw a layup. We know he can distribute the basketball when necessary, hit those little floaters. He's going to be a major threat because not only can he play the point guard, but he can score from that position, and he also pretty impressive on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. The thing about him is he's so smart, he's so fast, and he can shoot threes better than Rondo. So we have that aspect of the game that we're going to love because he had one there where I think it was one of the bigs had him on, lulled him to sleep, and went around with the top 4-3. Rondo wasn't good at that.
The most intriguing thing for me looking ahead, how he plays with AD and Bron, how he plays off the ball because he's a guy who likes to have it in attack. He can take pressure off LeBron, but how does he react when he's off the ball? It's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, when you play with LeBron James, you adapt to what happens.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be a problem at all for him.